Before you go any further, look below and click the subscribe button. Hello, everybody. We are on sustainable growth, and I'm just overwhelmed today because I get a chance to talk to Anya from Restream. This is a tool that I've been using for some time, but I've been bouncing back and forth between Restream and Zoom. But I've completely gotten rid of Zoom and focusing more on Restream, so I can not only restream my streams, but just having a platform like Restream to do so many different things. And every day they're dropping new things that we can do, we can add, and just making your podcast or instructions, whatever it is that you're doing, just really, really nice and easy to work as you are online. So thank you so much, Anya, for coming on and talking with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great. And I love your intro. It's such a cool and engaging video with epic
Thank
music, my
you.
favorite
Thank
stuff.
you. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, I've been watching on LinkedIn all the new videos, the new functions, and all of these different things that's been happening. Is Restream starting to see a boost in these questions on asking what you can or can't do, or it's just noticing, okay, this is a tool, we're here, and we have all these functionalities in one location. What is going on with Restream and how they're really pushing the product?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, just a quick history of Restream, I guess. I personally have been with the company for over 6 years now. So, I lead product marketing at Restream. So, I'm connecting the developers who are building features and the users who are actually benefiting from them. So, I think that's the coolest job in the world, to build those bridges between technical creation and people who are actually getting to use it. So,
Mhm.
from what I'm seeing recently, of course, Restream is constantly evolving, and we started as primarily just a multi-streaming solutions, basically a little plugin for something like OBS or Zoom, and we have evolved
Mhm.
over the years to offer solutions like Studio that makes it much easier for creators to record podcasts like this one, do interviews, product launches, run videos, announcements, any kind of content for like all kinds of industries. So, of course, our development and product map completely depends on what are the needs of the market and what are the needs of our users. So, if you follow us on X or even on LinkedIn, you will see that a lot of times we will ask people, hey, what should we build? Like, what are the things and the pain points that you guys are experiencing? And we're always trying to listen and to include that into our next cycles of building. So, a good example of that would be something around customizations, right? A lot of times people are asking for more things to customize within the Restream Studio space. One of the things that was
Yeah.
mentioned many times was custom music, right? A lot of people wanted to play their tunes and did not want to just use the AI solution that we
Yeah.
offered. And now we do offer custom music, so you can upload any song you want and play it during your stream. The next thing of that was kind of a little bit more flexibility around creating your own positioning of certain elements in your studio, such as your logos. And the first step in that direction is now you can actually move it left and right. We released it today. And of course, as we're moving forward, we'll continue offering more and more customizations. So we are very much product led. Type of company, right? So like the product is the key thing for us. So we're not necessarily like packaging the same solution over and over in different plans. We
Mhm.
inventing new things, and the core and the heart of that invention process is what our users need and what they say.
Wow. And I am one of those that did ask about, some things, and you immediately came back and said, okay, we're going to drop that in line and see what we can do to, kind of work on this and or what we could come up with. So that is, greatly appreciated because a lot of times you don't even get responses back. And that's something that you did. What can you tell us about Restream that we may not know?
Oh, it's a good one. So there are a lot of different things. I'll give you a few examples that are around kind of like us as a team and like how we think, our philosophy a little bit, and a little bit like more kind of like down to earth to like products and features that we offer. So I do not know how many people do know that our founders are originally from Ukraine. So we started our company in in Ukraine in a small town called Vinnytsia. And at that time, the founders were pretty young and they were just streamers. And their first kind of mission was to empower streamers and creators to just reach wider audiences, because they noticed that one of the things that creators experience is a lot of times they have ideas and they're very creative. They want to make great content, but they just don't necessarily have enough viewers, right? Like the audience is just not there yet. And that's how the concept of multi-streaming came up, because they were like, okay, so what if we let people to create one stream, one video, and spread it out to as many destinations as possible? Would that increase the chances of them being discovered and building their community and connecting with viewers that are interested in what they're passionate about and what they're streaming about? And that basically led to Restream. So we are the inventors of the concept of multi-streaming. Like that did not exist until Alex and Andrew, our founders, came up with that concept. Similar thing about pre-recorded streaming. So what we're doing right now is a recording, and we can publish this as a podcast, but we could also use Restream to schedule it to go live. So this recorded
Yeah.
video that we will
Mhm.
do right now, and hopefully you will add it later to make me look good. We can also potentially schedule it to appear as live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and all other channels. So it will
Yeah.
look as a live video, and you could also engage in chat and like make it a very interactive experience, but it is more polished and edited. And it's also perfect for situations when you actually personally need some time off, like Thanksgiving or Christmas, and you can still appear live for that consistency for your audience. So that whole concept was also invented by Restream. So this is kind of like a little bit of a history thing. Some other things is that we are actually a very small team. So we're shipping a lot of products and we're supporting this whole family of things, right? Like, so Studio is one of our core products, but we also have integrations for platforms like OBS. So basically, if you have a professional encoder, you can also use Restream as a multi-streaming integration. We also have this pre-recorded streaming tool, and we're working on some more things in the direction of we have live shopping features and tools when you can connect your store and actually run live sales on social media. So it's a big kind of complex of different things that you can do with live video, but we are only 75 people right now. So we're a pretty small team, very diverse. We were remote before it was cool to be remote. So we like kind of like learned how to work with people from different people and different cultures. We have, I think, over 17 different countries represented among our teammates and counting. So yeah, pretty interesting company in kind of like in terms of who we are, what we do, how we build, and how we think.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that about, being on different platforms because and this kind of shows how long I've been with Restream. Before we wasn't able to go to Instagram or TikTok, and now that function is now available. I mean, you have to go and get the keys and different things like that, but you're able now to stream on those platforms. Have you seen any of your users utilizing this to start creating like their own TV shows or radio shows or anything like that because of the type of platform you are?
Yeah, we definitely. At some point earlier this year, I actually did a big research, kind of like internally primarily, but I did share a little bit of that on social media. And there are a few blog articles that I wrote on that kind of like topic, how multi-streaming is really a winning strategy for
Mhm.
creators, because we have looked at, I believe, about 5,000 different kind of random content creators within our system. And
Yeah.
we noticed that while it's kind of rare for people to use Restream to go live on one single platform, actually LinkedIn is one of those platforms, because we are a preferred partner for LinkedIn Live,
Mhm.
and there is no other way to go live on LinkedIn either through one of those third-party applications that are preferred partnered, or you basically cannot do it
Okay.
because LinkedIn doesn't have its own kind of like studio production thing like YouTube and Facebook.
Mhm.
But I noticed that the growth of creators who go on multiple platforms, at least two, preferably more, is almost 5 times better over time than those who are sticking to one platform. So we
Yeah.
were looking at followers, average viewer count, a bunch of different things, and just kind of like the over time following grew. And we did not necessarily look at people who started with zero and then grew over time, because that's very easy to go from 0 to 5, right? For
Yeah.
example, we also didn't look at giant mega monster creators who have like millions of viewers already, because it's again kind of hard for them to to quintuple their following. But we looked at kind of like the medium-sized folks, starting from 1,000 followers and up to, I believe, 10 or 50,000 followers, and they did show really, really good and solid results by just connecting this additional channels such as X, YouTube, Facebook pages. And that's why I would say, like, the folks who are thinking about their live show in terms of like where else my audience could be, where else they might be watching, and I'm not yet there, they do see a lot of success with their live shows. So they would definitely diversify and add more episodes, add more days of the week when they would be streaming, because there's that kind
Don't upload your videos to YouTube. Upload to Restream, where we will live stream it to YouTube and all your platforms at once. Get ready for 5 times more engagement and views. Oh, the algorithms love streams and engagement, rewarding you with even more views. While you, sure, that works, upload and stream from Restream.
Do you see Restream partnering or connecting with platforms that's audio, for instance? Podcasts are recorded to where, even though we're on, the other platforms like LinkedIn or YouTube, but it may connect to like Spotify or Apple or one of those other audio platforms, or will it just stay video?
I would love to connect to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It is not necessarily the easiest thing to get in front of those folks and get that integration worked through, because there's a big companies, and for reasons that I understand, they probably have a lot of different things and integrations to think about. But absolutely, if someone from those companies are listening and they're interested in integrating with Restream, drop me a line. You can find me on LinkedIn or X. Actually, anyone on Restream team would be happy to talk to you about that. It's actually pretty limited number of services right now that allow you to distribute your podcast. I remember there was Anchor at some point, right? It's a great, absolutely great product. It did get eventually merged with Spotify, so now it's kind of part of their system. It used to be one of the tools we actually used internally for our own shows to repurpose them into audio podcasts. But here's what I believe. In terms of becoming an audio-only platform, that's probably not necessarily the Restream way, but we do offer tools and features that allow you to download exclusively audio tracks, including separate audio tracks. For example, for this conversation, you can get your own audio feed and then my audio feed. So for repurposing and for post-production, it's very easy for you to then figure out how you want to process that. And I do believe that if you start with recording a video, basically what you're doing right now, it's very easy to repurpose into audio only. And eventually, I believe that the world will be moving towards kind of like video podcasting, because there's a lot more you can do with video. There's a lot more visuals you can show. There's a lot more illustrations for your points, such as video clips, images, presentations, maybe some screen shares, depending on the type of content you're doing. I do believe that having video as a source and then deciding whether you're just going to grab this audio, maybe create little clips, or maybe post the whole thing as is, maybe transcribe it and turn it into a blog article that's great for SEO. So I believe that video as your initial kind of starting point, how you record your content, is a winning strategy today.
No, you're absolutely right. I've been doing it for a few years, where I've always done video. And when I bring guests on, they automatically think is audio. And I have to always, in my emails and messaging, let them know this is video. So be prepared to be in front of a camera. It's not audio. But I would do the same thing, take it, edit it, and of course have the video on those platforms, but I also take the audio and drop it on the other platform. So I'm getting it in a variety of different places by doing that. As we're moving towards AI, and I mean, we're just moving really, really fast with technology right now, and people want to see. And the ones that don't want to see, they want, okay, I want to get on any platform where I don't have to switch and do a new membership and still listen to this podcast. So that's one of the things that we've been doing, and I'm glad that I have been doing it, because you're starting to see where people want to just do it on whatever platforms they currently have and not get a new one. Are there any secrets with Restream that you can possibly give us some ideas? You probably can't share the whole secret, but some ideas on what's come with Restream, and that's going to make it bigger for all your users?
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely a few sneak peeks that I can share. Some of them we've been kind of like creatively like Easter egg hiding within some of our marketing
Yeah.
materials and pricing
Mhm,
pages and things like that. So you mentioned AI. One of the very common
mhm,
questions and requests that we got from our community was to kind of like introduce a little bit more AI to help our creators to use the platform. And the most common use
mhm.
case for both podcasters and video creators that are primarily video is to have AI clips, right? It's very convenient when you can use machine learning to kind of like analyze your video. If it's 30 minutes long or even longer, a few
Mhm.
hours, it's a very tedious job for somebody to go through and like manually cut those things, which some people and some companies, like our larger customers, of course, have that capacity with video editors. But
Mhm.
for like smaller businesses and more individual creators, of course, AI clips is a lifesaver. And I am very excited to say that we are working on that actively right now, and we are hoping to deliver AI clips in Q4, so before the end of this year.
Yes. Wow. I'm excited to hear that because yeah, there's another tool that I do. I upload the videos over there to start chopping them up to make shorts. With what you're doing, will captions be a part of that as well?
Yes, so you will be able to. So we're kind of thinking about this from the perspective of how to make it super easy, right? Because
Mhm.
video editing can get very complicated very quickly.
Right.
I'm sure if you've ever entered any kind of video production, professional video editing software, it gets just overwhelming. Even
Yes.
something as simple as iMovies, if you're using a Mac, like just a pretty
Mhm.
simple, straightforward, user-friendly thing, has a ton of buttons and a ton of different tabs and different drop-down menus. So we're trying to keep it very simple because that's kind of how we think. Like the Restream way is the fastest path to value, right? Like the
Yes.
easiest and the simplest way
Mhm.
to achieve what you're trying to do. So that's basically the balancing act here. So how do we make it very simple? So one of the ideas is that we will probably, when we think about AI clips, is we will remove everything that you're putting like on top of the videos, like little chats, little messages, little logos, and things like that,
Mhm.
and just give you like a clean feed of yourself and your guest, and then we will do AI captions just for what the person is saying. And in that case, we will hopefully preserve this very clean look, and you will not have to like retype or create your own captions or run it through some kind of software that creates the text from speech. So we will do
Yeah.
that hopefully internally. So yeah, so the captions to for people who are watching on mute, which a lot of people are using social media like that. They're kind of like scrolling through and they will see your clip, they will be seeing captions. But the captions that you're using as part of your restream thing will probably remove them just because it makes it easier to keep that clean look.
Wow. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. That's exciting. That's exciting to hear that because now it's like Restream will truly, truly be that one-stop shop type of platform for podcasters, content creators. Um, with Restream, I imagine you know there's other platforms out there. Have you ever had anyone, want to try to compare the two and just really can't, do it, apples to apples is, always a little difference in there. I could say my opinion, but I want to hear what users have come to you about on other platforms.
Yeah, definitely. Like people compare tools and software all the time. I do that too with tools that I use. There's like hundreds of microphones that I try. There are
Yeah.
different ways to do the same thing. The problem for competitors with Restream is that it's very difficult to compete with Restream as the whole kind of offering, right? As a whole suite of our products. So there are tools that are competing with us specifically in the podcasting space, right? And they're absolutely great tools for recording. A lot of them are well known, and a lot of them are even used in parallel. Like some people prefer to use certain solutions for just recording, but then those solutions are not necessarily great for multi-streaming. So if you're
Mhm.
trying to combine recorded and live, those tools are not going to deliver the quality that you would expect from live streams. Similarly to studio, so there are certain competitors of just the studio, like certain specific studio things. And there are certain competitors of things like webinars or like larger events, right?
Yeah.
Of course, Zoom webinars will allow you a lot of functionality that Restream Studio will not. But then Zoom webinars will not allow you the opportunity to push pre-recorded videos as live and create webinars with recorded videos,
Mhm.
and like a lot of other things on social media, on multiple social media platforms at the same time, right? Like Zoom only streams into your webinar with the people who are there. It also requires certain things from your viewers, such as RSVPs. They have to like fill in crazy forms versus just watching some content online. So there are different kind of like trades off and like pros and cons with those things. I am yet to see a competitor that encompasses everything that Restream offers and does exactly the same thing. So most of them, they're competing with just certain portions of what Restream has to offer. And again, we always, when people are comparing and say, hey, we're missing this feature, or we would like to switch from you to this other platform, we always say, hey, we always want the best for you. We believe that we're not necessarily the tool that is perfect for every single person, but what we like to do and what we pride ourselves in is that we will always listen. And even when people stop using Restream, we even have like certain lifecycle campaigns when we ask them to tell us why they left, because it is extremely important for us to understand that and to hopefully improve that for others and for future. And yeah, we always welcome people to come back if they want to try different things and then they find that Restream is the best solution. We also welcome that kind of content. So if folks are creating some kind of comparison videos, we always like to elevate them. We always comment on those videos. So yeah, if anyone is interested in doing some content around the features that we offer versus others, we're like very open to that, because we know we kind of know where we stand and we're very confident. So yeah, absolutely would welcome that kind of content.
I know that was kind of an odd question to talk about your competitors, but the reason I did that is because it's putting it out there, and simply because I've seen what Restream can do and all the videos that you have circulating out about Restream, is to really put it out there, because when there is a platform that's out there and you are providing the right tools and you're putting all these different things out there. I mean, granted, everything's not for everybody, that I get that, but really putting it out there, sure, go ahead, go over here to wherever you want to go, but we also want to welcome you back too, if you decide to come back. So that's one reason I really wanted to ask that and put that out there, to really show the type of company Restream is. It's not always about let's just pull you over here. You really have something of value to offer.
Yeah, and if I can just quickly piggyback on that, because I think it's a really good point, is that of course I don't know exactly how every single other competitor is doing their marketing and their content, but like I'm director of product marketing and I am doing a ton of content with my own hands, right? Like just today I released a few videos showing how like we can move the logo. I literally recorded it with my own hands, right? We do live streams with our CEO that I know you fortunately were one of our guests a few times. You were one of our viewers and we saw your comments. So it's our CEO and he thinks it's priority once a month to show up and to take questions from the community, to answer them live, not edited, not scripted, right? So we do believe that one thing that hopefully differentiates us a little bit is that we are not just the team of creators. We are massively dogfooding. We're using our own products and we show up for the people, and we want to hear their feedback and feature requests, but we're also happy to answer their questions because we know the product deeply, because we use it all the time and we do a lot of things. We're very hands-on team. So hopefully that also helps people who are sometimes concerned. Should I even bring this up? Should I share? Should I ask? I always say my DM is always open. If you have ideas, if you have questions, if you have some content that you'd like to share, just let me know, because we're responding to most messages and we are extremely engaged with what the community needs and wants, because that's the Restream way. That's how we think.
I can confirm that, because yes, she has replied to me a couple of times. I'm surprised she haven't said, look, don't send me nothing else.
Never. I think that's gold, because like even the things that was really little reactions that you showed me, I immediately sent it to our product team and they were like, okay, we can see how we can do that. Maybe we will not create like a huge variety of reactions, but we can do the most popular, like little hearts, little, thumbs up. So they immediately started thinking, and like, that's why a lot of times when people reach out and ask for questions or feature feedback, I always say, well, show me what you're trying to do. Show me what you're trying to accomplish, because if you show me what you're trying to get, I can immediately start thinking and brainstorming with the team in terms of what we can do. We're not a huge corporation, and that's our beauty, because we can move fast. We can prioritize certain things that we feel that are cool or matter to our community. So that is I think a superpower. So yeah, when you think about what kind of tool you want to use and what kind of team you want to be behind that, that's your little secret sauce that we have here.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about it, because as me being behind the scenes producing different series, webinars, podcasts, and different things like that, it's just, okay, let me record it, then I go create it, with the green screen, all of this stuff, overlay it, and kind of just do all these different things. But being able to select something and just click it, and it's already there. Granted, like you say, it's not going to be a plethora of options, but there's some options to put some of those few exciting different emojis or whatever that's on the screen while you're currently recording.
Can I show you something cool with emojis? I don't know if you're using Mac, but I do. So there's a little kind of like secret tool that I use sometimes for those effects. So on Mac, you have this little effects that like do things like this.
Yeah.
So be careful using that, but it's an option to get like some live reactions. So we're trying to think about how we can bring that on like more kind of like product level versus just depending on Mac. So hopefully that will help to fix this and make it easier and accessible for
one last thing I want to see. Like you mentioned, webinars and different things like that. Will there eventually be a ticket or registration option?
So for now, we're trying not to necessarily go into that space because there's so many different webinar services and so many different tools that offer kind of like pre-recorded or live webinars, and they're like exclusively focusing on that. So it's going to be very difficult for us to compete with Zoom webinars because it's such a big tool and it is very good for what it is, right? It does great job with webinars with tons and tons of visitors, tons and tons of viewers. I do think that from the company perspective, though, like whenever people send me invitations for gated events and webinars, the first question I like to ask them is, why do you want to gate it, right? And there's good answer to that and there's bad answer to that, because sometimes you do want to gate it because you're trying to monetize it, for example. That's a good answer. Or because it is mission critical for you to receive the RSVPs, right? So you could follow up with people. That's not a good answer. But a lot of people are gating super interesting content that is elevating their brand and helping to tell their story just for the sake of gating, because everyone has done that before. And that's not a good answer, because if you have something interesting to say and if you want to introduce your brand and your product and your service, a lot of times you're much better off just going live on social media and let anyone find you and let anyone watch the replay, right? Because that helps to elevate your brand. Now, when it comes to some gated stuff, if you're solving the problem of trying to follow up with people, then creating an event on LinkedIn, adding an RSVP form, the registration form directly on LinkedIn, and then connecting from Restream into that event will actually solve that problem. And let me tell you, most people, professional people that you're going to expect to show up to your events are probably on LinkedIn, most likely. So you can still distribute that link to that event. You can ask people to RSVP. That's the only way they can watch. And you can still follow up with them later. And the follow-up is a lot more personable because you're sending them a direct message with your image, with your title, with your company, versus just the cold email outreach that a lot of people will simply archive or send into spam. So that's one way to solve it that Restream already offers a great opportunity to do, right? Just create an event on LinkedIn, connect into it from Restream, and then get those RSVPs. Now, if you really want to gate it and you want to charge people to watch your content, there is an unlisted YouTube option. You can stream into an unlisted event that is not going to be searchable, and you can only send that link to members. You can close it under some kind of a form on your website, or you can simply say, hey, if you're members of this community, I can send you the link. Just make sure you add this to your calendar. So there are a few workarounds that I think could work for a lot of people. And especially the RSVP LinkedIn is a good one. So we always tell people that if you're running webinars, it's good that you're doing that, but there's a way to run webinars in a way cooler way. And that's basically live streaming.
Life's better with music. Now with Restream, you can easily play your own tunes. Click the music tab and upload. Find the right mood before your event starts. You might want to add a backing track to jazz up a stream. Play in a recorded message like a voicemail.
Hi, I've been listening to you guys for years and I just want
that's nice. Up the vibe with a few sound effects. Or turn a podcast into an interactive event with live DJing from up to 100 tracks available every time you step into the studio. The major formats are supported, so the only thing you need to think about is licensing. If music be the food of love, play on! Cheers!
Okay. Thank you so much for jumping on and talking to us. Can you, let everybody know how to get in Restream and how to reach out to you if they have any ideas or something they want to, see what Restream can add on?
Yes, absolutely. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I read that quite frequently. It's under Anya Razina, Anya Razina. So I'm pretty sure my URL reads Anya with Restream on LinkedIn because I'm so committed. So you can find me there. You can also find me on X as Anya. I think I'm also Razina there. I do change my name sometimes, just for fun. But that is probably the easiest and the best way. You can also visit restream.io. There is all kinds of information there about our products and offerings. You can sign up for free. Restream has free accounts and allows you to stream to 2 destinations free of charge. And then you can also talk to our 24/7 live chat support, which is consisting of real humans, no AI. Real people, streaming specialists that will help you out with onboarding, with deciding which plan you need if you're trying to do something professionally, and just help you troubleshoot if there's any kind of issues. So we will welcome you in our Restream family. And yeah, if you ever need any tips or ideas, we also have a YouTube channel where we post a ton of cool tutorials and video guides. So you're welcome to explore us there.
Thank you so much, Anya.
It was such a pleasure.
On our Instagram at SavvyMagBiz and on our YouTube channel, Savvy, the Business Podcast. Thank you for joining us on Savvy, the Business Podcast. If you want to be a guest, send an email to media@savvymag.biz. That's media@savvymag.biz. Don't miss out on the opportunity to be heard by millions.
Life's better with music. Now with Restream, you can easily play your own tunes. Click the music tab and upload. Find the right mood before your event starts. You might want to add a backing track to jazz up a stream. Play in a recorded message like a voicemail.
Hi, I've been listening to you guys for years and I just want
that's nice. Up the vibe with a few sound effects. Or turn a podcast into an interactive event with live DJing from up to 100 tracks available every time you step into the studio. The major formats are supported, so the only thing you need to think about is licensing. If music be the food of love, play on! Cheers!